What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Prem Trifecta. And today we're going to talk about United 2, Brentford 1. Game yesterday at Old Trafford. I know this is coming out a little late, but I kind of got busy right after the game. I was happy that as soon as the game ended is when I had to leave, so everything worked out perfectly for me. And yeah, I think we should go ahead and start talking about the game. I think based off the first 10 minutes, honestly, just based off the starting lineup itself, noticed that Cunha wasn't available. It's because like he had like a doubtful knock. Um, it wasn't really too much information about it. But for some reason, I just feel like I didn't feel like we're missing out on much. I know Cunha's been an amazing player for us recently, but I think against Brentford at home, I think I was like, you know what, we'll be fine. It's better for him to sit out this entire game so he can be well fit and rested for the game against Liverpool next week at Old Trafford. So, you know what, for me that was the right call. And even with the center back pairing, I noticed that Lenny Yoro was back in our squad on the bench, and Patrick Dorgu was also back as well. So I'm really happy to see both those players back. And before that, I was thinking, I was a little worried that Carrick might go with Maguire and Euro. I just don't think um, they're that good of a center back pairing, just because like their profiles are like very similar, right? Like you would, if you want like a Martinez and Harry Maguire kind of duo, then I think Aiden Heaven would be a better replacement for Martinez than Lenny Yoro would be. I'd say Lenny Yoro is more similar to Maguire, where Aiden Heaven is more similar to Martinez. So I'm happy that Carrick kind of went with that center back pairing. Um, and yeah, the way the game started, honestly, I was getting a lot of Man U, Man City vibes at Old Trafford, where the 2-0 win. We just kept going at them. We it looked like we were so desperate for a goal. We had a great start. It was the game was just all us, and we had two really good chances. Obviously the one where Kobe Mainu could have got an amazing assist, but then I missed, and then or not missed, but deflection, whatever. He didn't score. That's the point. And the other one was Harry Maguire. Harry Maguire's header literally felt exactly like the City game, where his header hit the crossbar, but this time Kelleher barely saved it off the line. I think it was like just a couple centimeters away from being a goal. So it gave me those kind of vibes where it just felt like even after we score, we're just gonna keep going. We're gonna give it our best. And yeah, then Casemiro scores. Casemiro scores, brilliant header. It was really well worked by Maguire to kind of head it back into the box, or not back into the box, but into like the mix of all the players. Obviously, kind of missed out on the Bruno assist, but it is what it is. Like at that point, we just needed a goal, and then Casemiro gets the job done, and I'm so happy that he's having such a great kind of farewell tour at United. Like everyone wants him to stay a year. I think personally, this is probably the best time for him to leave. Like he is having an amazing season. I think it's 9 goals. I believe it's 9 goals as a holding midfielder. Come on, that's really good for a holding midfielder for a single PL season. So I'm really happy that he's having the season, a really good season before he leaves. And the season's not even over yet. There's still 4 more games to go, so maybe he can even take it up and further. And yeah, but then right after he scored is when we kind of started sitting back more, like kind of what we always did. And then it kind of went from, you know, it kind of feeling like the Man United, Man City 2-0 win to kind of like the Brentford 4-4 draw, or sorry, not Brentford, Bournemouth 4-4 draw, where once we got the first goal, it kind of felt like we're sitting back and then we're kind of inviting the pressure, or we're kind of like letting them grow into the game instead of kind of using the momentum and trying to attack more and get more goals, right? So I feel like we kind of didn't ride that wave of momentum. I feel like we just once we got that desperate goal that we needed, we just kind of just sat back and you know let them grow into the game, which I wasn't really a big fan of. I was kind of getting worried that this can cost us really, or this can allow us to concede right before halftime, and we genuinely almost did. Brentford got like 3 chances. Not even Brentford. Igor Thiago got 3 chances. There was one where Luke Shaw did amazing to kind of slide the kind of like throw him off. I guess he also did run a little too fast. He was way ahead of the ball where the ball was being crossed, but I think Luke Shaw did good enough to kind of prevent him from doing anything. There is one more chance I just can't think of. I know there's three, but then there's another one where there was a miscommunication between Maguire and Aiden Heaven, and he was left wide in the open. But I think it was offside. I don't know. I didn't really get a chance to see the replay, but it looked offside to me. So either way, like I just didn't think that it mattered too much. But seeing that lack of communication between our two center backs, that was what's concerning me. And you know, you kind of don't want to see that happen in the middle of a game, even though if it doesn't cost us. It kind of like that should be a warning sign. But even for the first Igor Thiago miss, it should have been a warning sign since then. And since then, we still kept inviting the pressure, and we had some couple attacks, but it just wasn't going our way. The final product wasn't there. Um, and then finally, Sesko bags the goal right before halftime, right when it was needed to kind of kill the momentum that Brentford was going on. And at that point, you can kind of say, okay, well, I don't see a, you know, like a possibility where this can kind of slip away from our hands, and we can actually either potentially draw the game or we can lose, right? Um, so yeah, I think overall the team performance it was pretty good. It was I think we had I think everyone saw the potential of it could have been a way better performance, but for the 3 points it was good enough. And once again, Bruno, that IQ, man. I don't think people understand. Like, it looks like a simple pass to Sesko, but he makes it look like he's about to pass to Mbuemo, throws the defender off, waits for the other defender to commit to him before he plays the pass. And I just, everyone's thinking, why didn't he pass to him? Like, everyone's kind of trying to make a thing out of it. Like, why didn't he pass to Mbuemo? Why did he choose Sesko? That was purely it. It's purely because I think both those defenders thought that it was gonna be more likely to go to Mbuemo. They know what Mbeumo can do, so that's why they're more concerned about him, which left Sesko open, and then bang, goal, right? So I think it was just, in the moment, I don't think people understand how easy it is to kind of mess up that decision, but Bruno always, he 90% of the time, he makes the right decision, and that is literally, he is our saving grace. And 19 assists, man, just one more to tie it, two more to beat the record. So we are on a good route for that. But otherwise, a couple other players I'd like to talk about. I mean, obviously, standout's gonna be Casemiro, man of the match, amazing performance. I feel like across a couple of games, he's had some suspect performances. Like for example, the Everton game, 1-0 where we won away. I feel like for that one, Casemiro was moving very weird, and for me, it's not even. I would never judge his defensive abilities. For me, it's just him on the ball and him trying to progress the ball forward by making a pass. That's where he stumbles most of the time. Like the pass just wouldn't reach the player he's trying to pass to because someone would either be there to intercept it. It's just a poor decision to make, right? And even maybe not, and I'll say the Leeds game as well. The Leeds game, I mean, I just think that we had a poor performance in the second half, in the first half, and then we got done dirty in the second half. But it is what it is. Either way, I just don't think his performance overall was that great in Leeds. But man, today he was everywhere. Every interception, he was on every ball. He was literally it felt like watching Prime Casemiro again, and I'm so happy once again that this is the type of season he's having because yes, he's having some drop off performances, but otherwise like he's been playing like this a lot of performances as well, which is what's good to see. So really happy for him. Man, this guy's head is just he knows how to head the ball, and as soon as he like every single time he's heading the ball, I'm very confident that it's gonna go in the back of the net. So I'm really happy that he has that ability, and that's something we could really leverage. So it was really good for him, and for me, I think another outstanding player that could have potentially won man of the match, Kobe Manu. Bro, I kid you not, I miss watching him play football. Like it's been every single performance that he's been played, in the beginning, everyone was kind of downplaying him. They're like, "What's he really adding to this? What's he really adding to the team?" I think it was if the Leeds game was not a clear sign of why he's important, then I don't know what is. He didn't start that game, and you can see that we were a complete mess. We had no clue on what's happening. We kept losing every single ball, but no, today Kobe Manu was a beast. He was once again on every second ball, every single. He ran so much, and his recoveries are good. He was even making tackles that I didn't even know he could make. I know he can make tackles, but my goodness, he was making them so frequently. So, to see that this is our midfield today, I was so happy with the midfield performance, and that was really good, well done by him. For me, it was between Casemiro and Manu, who should have won man of the match, and as long as it's one of those two, I was happy. And finally, another player, besides those, Senna Lemons. I don't know how much the fact that like in the past couple of years, we used to be if we have to bring up our goalkeeper in a conversation, it would be something negative, something we are raging about. But oh my god, I could like we were actually in the depths of disaster with goalkeepers, and I'm so happy that this goalkeeper just makes you feel safe. It just makes you feel like, yo, whatever's coming his way, he can deal with. Like whenever something's shot towards Lamin's ways, yes, I have a little bit of like I'm like, oh my god, what's gonna happen? But you know, with Onana, I could be like, oh my god, that's going in. With Lemons, I'm like, oh my god, yeah, he can save that. This guy only concedes bangers. It's so funny because like right after Brentford scored, I literally texted my group chat being like, yo, this guy genuinely only like concedes bangers. And then I go on social media and everyone's saying the same thing. So I'm like, yo, this is not just something an opinion that I have. It's just the only way you can pretty much get past this guy is either if you tussle him on a set piece or if you genuinely just score bangers. And it's like it's so funny because the amount of like if I find a compilation of all the goals he's conceded, a lot of them are like right like inside the box, barely outside the box, in those like not corner areas, but like kind of like a quarter into the corner areas. And like they're all good goals. Like even the goal that Brentford scored, I'm like, bro, fair play. Like that's a really good goal. And there goes a clean sheet. That's literally I don't know. Clean sheets just don't exist for us, but at the same time, like I really don't care. As long as we win, that's all that matters to me. And even the defensive performance was really good. Aiden Heaven, I think, aside from the few slip ups that he had defensively, I think on the ball he looked amazing. And yeah, I think in terms of good performances, that's probably about it. But if you're thinking about players that you can kind of not criticize, but players that you feel are kind of like their performances have been alarming, I think the most obvious one in Buemo. I just think right now he's having a little bit of a rough patch, and if it wasn't for like the amazing start he had at T United, I think he would really right now in this situation be kind of like um he'd be getting criticized way more. Like if it wasn't for people keeping in mind of what he did during the beginning of the season. So yeah, and I just think with him right now, it's kind of like a confidence thing. I just think that he needs to for him he is a big GA guy. Like his performance he's had performances where like he's been dull. He didn't really pass the eye test, but he still leave it with a GA, right? But now that he's not getting those GAs, now he just looks a little underwhelming, right? So I think these are the times where you have to just say they're having a rough patch. They're not really costing us that much. So they're not doing us any harm. So let them take their time. Let them kind of get back into the groove. And we know what their ceiling is. We know what they could be. So I think as a fan base, we have to kind of come to that understanding that because he's not selling us, he's not doing us any harm. It's okay for now. Like it's common for players to have some rough patches, and as long as other players are turning up when these players are having rough patches. Like for example, Sesko had a poor start to the season, but Mbeumo had an amazing start. But now Sesko is having like for the last couple of games, Sesko is having a way better performance. He's been getting a lot more goals than Mbeumo has. So now returning to him being like, yo, you have to be that main guy. And Cunha, for him, it's been like a poor performance here, a great performance here, and he's been doing that all season, which I think that's what most players have. So that's been fine as well. So I just think right now it's a little bit of a rough patch for him. So hopefully he can get that sorted. At least I mean, we know when Mbeumo turns up for the big games. We're playing Liverpool next, so hopefully he can do something for us. And another player I do want to talk about, I think that every United fan is talking about right now, Amad Diallo, and I can definitely agree. His performances have not been kind of up to standard, but I just think the criticism that he's been getting is being being pushed far too much. I just think that everyone knows that Ahmad is a good player. Everyone knows what the potential he has. Right now, he's just having once again another not even rough patch. I would honestly just say like a rough overall season because even when Amarim was still here, he still had two goals, right? So he wasn't really racking up on the GA. And obviously, aside from Bruno last season, we looked at Ahmad being like, "Yo, you're the one who has to carry us next." This season, he doesn't need to do that because we have these new signings that can do that for us. So it's not a big thing. It's not a big deal that he's not getting that much goals and assists, right? Like if you watch him play, like I would say in my opinion, since the Fulham game or the Spurs game, that's when his performances have been dropping off. So I just don't think I just think the criticism that he's been getting is way too far. Like yes, he did sell that goal that Kobe Manu kind of got to get an assist for, could have gotten amazing assists for, by the way. But ultimately, like, it is what it is. Like, he missed, he had the whole net, and I was annoyed as well. I'm like, dude, how the hell did he miss that, right? But once again, he was on his weak foot. He tried his best, and it was a deflection. It was a good recovery, if anything, by the defender. So after seeing the replay, I'm like, okay, you know what? Like, maybe, but I still think he could have done. I know he could have scored that. We knew he could have scored that. So I think that was a more annoying factor. But I think we're also all forgetting who was the reason the second goal even started. Everyone thought that tackle was Kobe Manu. That tackle was Ahmad. So, he still has stuff that you bring that can influence the team. So I just think that the criticism is going a little too far. But for the most part, I do agree. I think that he needs to step it up. I think his game needs to improve. I don't know, like, really what it is. Like, I guess also he was playing on the left hand side when his natural position is on the right. So that is, I guess, another factor you could say. And the other goal that was offside that he scored, he was miles offside. And if anything, like, I don't know, like, I just can't. If when I go back to the replay, I just don't know if it's a ball that Bruno should have played a little faster or if Alma should have held his run a little better. Because, like, in that situation, like, if he holds his run, then, like, I think the defenders are, it's too easy to read for the defenders, right? So I don't know if that's the case where Bruno should have played it a little earlier or if Ahmad should have held his run. But either way, he was miles offside, still managed to score. But, once again, I still think that he has that potential. I still don't think that he should leave, by any means. So yeah, hopefully he turns up against Liverpool as well. We'll see where all this takes us. But right now, the main picture is we are still third. We're still 3 points ahead of Aston Villa and Liverpool, both sitting at 58 points, fourth and fifth. So right now we're still on good record, and I believe I'm not too sure. I have to recheck this, but I think if we win against Liverpool, I think we are, like, mathematically in terms of points, I think we are certified for Champions League. I just don't think that I think that even if we lose the remainder of our games, I think we're still safe. So I guess it also depends if Brighton wins, but we'll see. And yeah, we'll hopefully be hearing that UCL anthem in the very, very near future.